Hi, everyone. Good morning. It's Daniella Platt. How's everyone? Today, I'm excited. We have Adjani Jensen. She's going to come on and talk to us. So I'm looking forward to that. So any minute she will pop on. So I will just get started. We're telling her. So I'm just going to get started while she comes on. This is so exciting. During COVID, during a pandemic, the whole world has been rewriting their entire roadmap. And knowing that we could go live and talk to our friends, talk to our audience, talk to our people is really remarkable. So this is so exciting. So while I wait for Adjani Jensen to pop on, I'm just going to go ahead and say, hi, I'm Daniella Platt. Platt is short for platinum. Oh, here she is. Hi, Adjani. Okay, I'm going to wave back. Go live. And connecting. Hi! Do I hear you? Go live. Let's try that again. Waiting for Everyday Armor.
Hello, are we back?
There she is, Adjani Jensen.
How are you?
I'm so good.
Good.
I'm super good. I want to see your face. And it always ends up in like this little box. And
right.
I know that you are a real person and you have a work life and a home life, and now you have a Zoom box life.
Exactly.
And that is where I get to see you. And I always find myself like looking really close.
There we go.
Good morning to you.
Hello, how have you been?
I've been really good. I've been really good. In a strange way, I just lost you. I just really lost you. Where'd you go? Should I? So today, okay, so I'm Daniella Platt. I'm a concept to market strategist in Los Angeles. I joke that my last name is Platt, like platinum, only the very best. And for 20 years, I did business development for brands that fueled your life, brands that you'll recognize, companies that you'll recognize, Hugo Boss, Alternative Apparel. I worked at the Apparel News for more than a decade, Visa and Lycra, brands that make you stretch. And it's really been an exciting journey. Today, after I had my two babies, I packaged it all up into being a consultant. And I call it, I work with brands from concept all the way to sales. So here is my question to you guys. Do you have a big idea that you want to take to market? Do you see a product that you have? Maybe you want to see it in Revolve, in Bloomingdale's, in Nordstrom's. You want to find suppliers. You want to just like figure out how does the fashion industry work? There she is.
There I am. I've never had so much problem going on live. But I'm here. I'm here.
I have we all have problems in going live, being alive. Which leads to the theme song from all of this. So,
oh God.
Being alive, right? That's
being
the
alive,
theme
absolutely.
Song to all of this. So I was just before you popped back, I was like, may as well introduce myself.
Right.
But welcome back.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm here. I can see everything, and we're good. We're good.
Well, welcome to my the incubator of a talk show. This is like everybody has a talk show now,
Wonderful.
right?
I know. I love it.
You do too.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Well, let me just kind of take a step back for a second and say, hi. I'm Daniella Platt, and I already kind of gave my spiel about like I work with brands, taking your idea, whether you came up with it on a kitchen table or in a boardroom, to the world. But one of my favorite things ever, it kind of came out of like, hey, why don't you write a story for me? And it became a whole women innovator platform. I love to women are unstoppable.
Really
and I love to share the stories of unstoppable innovators.
Absolutely.
I love to share that story. So
awesome.
it started off in a magazine. And look how beautiful this edition is. This is the September issue.
Very nice. Very nice.
So here we are. We're with Adjani Jensen of Adjani Design, and I wrote about you in the September issue of the magazine, and it's so great. So I wanted to introduce you to.
Thank you.
So exciting. I think what you said was really interesting. Can I read it? Can I
Absolutely.
share
Yeah,
with?
go
Okay,
ahead.
so this is what you wrote. First of all, you're such a do you know people that write and when you read their writings you feel it? So you have an incredible gift for writing.
Thank
So
you.
anyway, it looks really beautiful in the article. So here, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself.
Okay.
But what you said was that you're in business to support those in the fashion industry who may feel as though they've been thrown into the middle of the ocean, left to navigate to shore in the middle of a hurricane season. Go ahead, Adjani Jensen. What do you do with everybody who is thrown, left out to shore? Who are you? What do you do? And how are you saving people in the world of pandemic recovery and bringing ideas to the planet? What is it?
I hope I am. Well, I started out in this venture as a stylist and working in the fashion industry. I was an independent contractor, and I was seeing a lot of other independent contractors, whether it be the actual models themselves, photographers, other stylists, seeing them kind of flail around for a sense of who they are and how am I going to present myself for my next job. So I took that idea along with my background in web design and social media marketing, SEO, the whole digital marketing space, and really created a branding agency designed specifically for people that are kind of on their own day to day, doing their jobs. But, you know, they're also running a business in and of themselves, trying to put themselves out there, whether it be portfolio or even just an interview, an audition, just whatever they need to do to get that next job. That's what their focus is. So it's not always on, you know, what is on my social media, what is on the website, what am I actually saying by all these pictures? Can I make a more cohesive brand? Can I paint a picture so that I'm saying less and what is out there saying more, so I can even get more jobs, more opportunities in that way. So I work with, like I said, other stylists, models, photographers, and then I've opened it up into the theater industry with a lot of people off since, you know, theaters have been dark since March, and there's this time and this kind of panic. I don't know what to do, but if you can kind of use the time to, you know, creatively think of your next step, it kind of subsides some of the panic. I can't say I can absolve it, but I can help you kind of think toward your next step. Okay.
Well, did you have any aha moments where you realized this is the right approach, or, you know, I need to retool my message? What have been your aha moments over the last 6 months as you've been like totally doing all these new things with helping brands and people put their portfolios together?
Right. So I've always kind of reached for the stars, if you will. So I've been reaching out to some of the biggest names in fashion, in theater, and either trying to either work with them or interview them. And sometimes, you know, sometimes by a fluke I get through, and I've met some wonderful designers that way. But by and large, there is a process that you have to go through, and you're not going to, you know, okay, I've been a stylist for 6 months, I'm not going to be styling the red carpet. But there is something to be said for A, going out there and putting yourself out there, and B, having the confidence to do that. With the way that I set up my website, actually even before I set up my website, I was, you know, when I would get through to people would ask me certain questions, and I wouldn't feel comfortable in that space saying, oh yeah, I can just point you to this right here, or I'd be sending them, you know, 6 different files of, okay, well, here's my portfolio, here's my resume, here's some of the things I've done, recommendations. And I was like, I can really distill this and make it one neat package so that, okay, here's my website, and that will take you everywhere you need to go. That'll link you to everything I've written, everything that I've styled on, everything that every website I've designed, really making that package a little neater, a little clearer, especially for people like me who do 86 different things, and really just making that one big package. This is who I am. This is what I can bring to the table, as opposed to trying to explain that over and over and over again and it getting lost in translation.
Okay, so what are like the top, so you just mentioned a lot of things, and one thing that you originally, so in this gorgeous article that we wrote, one thing that you offered it, and you could probably say it at the end, is, but you offered everybody a 20-minute roadmap consultation to anybody needing pandemic recovery guidance. Right. What would be like 2 highlights of things that you would want people to pay attention to? So
with the advent of social media and being on the internet, everything is forever. So I really encourage everybody that I work with to, I really encourage them to Google yourself. Just type your name into Google, see what comes up, and see what kind of, I'm an SEO person, so I was like, see what the rankings are, see who, if your top ranking is something that is a job that you didn't care for, or that doesn't show your best work, how can we push that? How can we push something that you do like and something that speaks to what your brand's going to be? How can we push that further up? So basically just see what's out there, see what we're working with. Okay. And then you tell me what is your plan when we can, leave our houses, or when we can go back to the office, or even, within the pandemic, what kind of jobs are you looking for? What kind of precautions do you want to take? Let's paint that picture, just the 2 of us, and then we can paint it for the world.
That's really interesting, because one thing that has just been a recurring theme, and I was listening to it even this morning on the Magic gave a trend report, was that we don't really know when we're coming out of this. So we know that we're making decisions for today. So like some of the trends that it's like we want to plan for when we're coming out of this, but since we don't know, we have to plan for what's now. So we need to keep in mind things that are versatile, things that are going to have longevity, things that are going to be investment pieces, but then also to keep in mind too that like people want to feel fabulous and good. So when it comes to jewelry, people are like bedazzling and updoing it, because you really want that extra sparkle, but those are also investment pieces and things that are helping people grow. The SEO piece is really magical, because that is what's, when people Google, like I put in my name all the time, and I wonder, like, all these random things come up from all these different years, what kind of strategy you can put into place.
So so with SEO, it's all about a user experience kind of traveling through the web. So if you have been associated with anyone that has a very good web presence, you want to connect to them. You want to make sure that you're always connected with them, whether it be your website, your social media. If you tag them and they tag you, that helps a lot. LinkedIn is a huge one. Like my first entry anytime you Google me is LinkedIn. Okay. And so having everything that you've ever done on LinkedIn in a neat package, but really having it as that base for you, if that's the first thing that's going to come up, make sure that that's speaking to what you want to say, because you might not have, you might not have every job that you've done, but put all the ones that are relevant to what you want to do next. Yeah. Okay, I'm dead. I was like, oh no, did I freeze? No. Okay. We're good.
Yeah, robocalls come in. I need to shut off my phone. So can you just backtrack for 1 second? Sure. You actually mentioned LinkedIn and SEO on LinkedIn and having everything look in a nice package. I feel like there's this incredible, LinkedIn is this incredible platform for people who know how to use it efficiently and effectively. And I hear people talk about be on LinkedIn. I source on LinkedIn. I promote on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's powerful for groups. Can you give some guidance? How does somebody really use LinkedIn effectively?
Right. So LinkedIn is wonderful when you need a large batch of candidates for anything. You can search both by name, by profession, and now by hashtag. So adding hashtags to your posts when you're posting, see what other people are following, see what the people that you want, if you want somebody to notice you, check them out, see what they're following, see how that goes along with your content. You don't want to just throw things up there just to get attention, but build your content around what they're following so that it pops up on their feed, so that it comes to their notice, so that they can take a look at, whatever is attached to the hashtag, say, oh, this is interesting. Like, let me look a little further and see, who is this person that's making the statement or writing this article, anything like that. And anytime you write anything, for me, writing is how you get into everything.
Yeah.
So
so put this into play. Yeah.
Right. So if you want to be in some industry, start writing about it. And whether it's your own blog or you find, you guest blog for somebody else, really do your research and do that little bit of legwork to really build that content. And then once it gets to LinkedIn, find who you want to connect with, and then build your posts and your content around that.
Can you put this into an example of
Sure.
a client that you've done? Because right now I hear you do this, 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 and this, and it sounds so magical.
Right.
And one thing about lifestyle and fashion brands is we're visual people.
Right.
So can you put this, like, how can I really put that all into motion?
Sure.
For one of your brands?
Right. So right now I'm working with a nonprofit circus. So
Cool.
The first thing that I did,
like clowns and
yeah, it's crazy. But they work with
contortionists. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're working with, people that are, it's especially for people with autism and sensory issues, the blind, anybody who is differently abled. It really is something for everybody.
Okay.
So along with that, the first thing I did was interview the founder. Okay. And she's like, well, I have nothing to say. I was like, yes, you do. You have plenty to say. You founded this. So let me just ask you some questions. And that's your content for your first week of LinkedIn.
Okay.
We say, okay, here's this interview. We're going to put all this information in there. And then we're going to start picking out specific points. If you're looking, if there's Autism Awareness Month, and that's the audience you want to look at. You want to look at hashtags. You want to look at who's active in that space. And then you want to speak to them specifically. So you're not just throwing up hashtags and throwing up things just to get the likes, but you're pulling out, you have a bank of content, and then you're pulling from that content when you want to speak to somebody specific and speak to them.
Okay.
Not to don't make it too general. Don't worry about alienating an audience. A lot of people worry about, it's too broad. I don't want to alienate anybody. It's
right. Niches. The riches are in the niches. And
right.
There's always that talk about you really only need a few good clients.
Right.
You only have to serve a few people and really well.
True. And you're and if you're posting 7 days a week, like, make that, you have the rest of the week to talk to everybody else. So, if that's your worry, take that one day and take that idea and really hit it home. And really discuss it, really study it, and then be engaged with the community. Don't just throw it out there and hope everybody comes to you. LinkedIn is actually really good with that. If you have a LinkedIn page, they'll suggest posts that you as a page that fit with your industry, that you as a page can comment on. So take those suggestions very seriously.
Okay.
Anytime like LinkedIn pops up and says, this quote came out from this person by like another circus was doing something, and they said this will be something good for
circus competition. Okay.
They're really, but other circus was doing an event, and LinkedIn said, this is something that you might want to post in as your page. so LinkedIn will help. And so if you just kind of take those engagement suggestions and really go back and forth with your specific subject, that really fosters so much community, and it fosters trust, and that can build a relationship that will then, you know, get you the likes, get you, if you're looking for donations, get you the donations, get you the job, you know, that kind of community building and trust building. That's really what this time is perfect for, because we're all on our phones, we're all looking for what's next, we're all thinking of what am I going to do. There's a sense of a shared experience with right now. So I think really capitalizing on that and making sure that everybody knows you're in the same boat and you're here to help, putting yourself out there, that's something that can definitely help you a lot in this time.
So can you think of like one or two things that people should be really cautious of? Like what are some signs that people should pay attention to, either, and they could use it either for them or against them? Like what would be a telltale sign? And I'm so glad you brought up LinkedIn, because I don't feel like people talk about Instagram all the time and Facebook all the time, and you know, groups and business pages and building audience and exposure. So, you know, what are one or two things that people can be, what are one or two things like you should really pay attention to and either stay away from or sharpen it up?
Be very cautious of new shiny opportunities. Do your due diligence when it comes to if a company is asking you to do something. And even if it's a name company, if they're doing it through a third party, if they have like a third party, like influencer manager or something like that, do your due diligence and know about the company you're working with and the company that's managing whatever project it is. Because I know in this time of, and as a freelancer in general, like you jump on, you know, opportunities. You're like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready. Let's do this. Yeah.
All the time. I mean,
especially in this time, like taking that one little step back and saying, okay, this sounds like a good opportunity. Let's see what the ask is. Is it worth my time? Is it worth the money? Is it worth the relationship? Because sometimes you're not always going to make a lot of money, but is it worth the relationship? Is the company reputable? If I work with them, will I be alienating myself from something else? I think those are kind of the big things to work out before you say yes. So I'm not saying say no, but before you say yes, kind of think how this works into your plan going forward, because you don't want to use all that energy that you could be, you know, building toward what you really want just to have a job.
Right. Yeah. I do believe that you have to be true to yourself. And I actually sort of have been starting to say, so my background, like 2 years ago, I had my second baby. She's older now. She's almost 3. And I just said, you know, sometimes when you want to shake things up and you want things to be a little different, you don't know what's on the other side. And that's really where we're at right now. Like we're going through this crazy time. I don't know what's on the other side. I sort of say, if it's not a heck no, and you have a marginal interest in something, every opportunity is a learning curve. Every opportunity opens the door for something new. And I'm in the position, you know, obviously there's things that cost, and I'm always in the position of weighing things out. In fact, so I wrote a book, the 10 Commandments to be a Sales Rock Star, looking good. So the 10th commandment, I talk about the 10th commandment, and this comes from my dad, is, you know, when in doubt, make money. And that kind of goes with, you know, say yes to the unknown, say yes to things that delight or enchant or might help you learn something, or just really kind of to what you're saying, evaluate every opportunity, because there could be the downside as well as the upside. And you don't want to alienate, but sometimes you have to be willing to say, you know what, I don't want to alienate this. But the opportunity is so great, you have to sort of weigh that out and figure out, you know, your future versus your past. And you'd love to have everything sort of really work together. But yes, you want to keep yourself in like good standing and good position.
Right. Like,
to always.
Like I used to work at fashion. I work at Fashion Week I try and work there every season with
Which
whatever
city?
show.
When you say
New
Fashion
York.
Week.
New
Okay.
York Fashion
The
Week.
original.
So yes, but the first couple of years, I actually even up to this year, it was free labor. Like you were volunteering, so you're weighing like, okay, is this worth the time? And for me it was, but for others, I was building websites at the time, so I had that other money coming in, and this was something going towards what I wanted to do. But at the same time, I had to be careful about the nonprofits I would work for, because I don't want to overcharge them. I don't want to, I know they're a nonprofit. I know they're working on, very slim margins. But at the same time, like, if this is going to be my job, then I have to be careful with who I'm working with and how I go forward with them. If I'm doing these other things for free, I really have to make sure that the things that I'm being paid for are really being worked out so that I can make a living out of them and still have this other freedom, this other opportunity.
Right. And that's fun, and it fuels you, and your passion is fashion. So
right.
You should fuel that.
But I do love working for nonprofits. I do. I have to say that. Yeah.
Well, of course. Well, that's actually a really important thing too. The whole, purpose-driven brands working for purpose is really important.
Right.
What type of brands have you worked with? What type of purpose charities do you kind of? And actually, I think we even wrote about it. Glam Hive, right. And it's page 54 in the September. But yeah, you mentioned, I know you work with like the Power Player Conference for her headquarters, Glam Hive Stylist, and other publications. So, any other highlights?
So I work with, I've been keeping in touch with and hoping to work with them once the pandemic's over. There's a nonprofit organization that does music therapy for sexual assault and domestic violence survivors. And it was started by somebody on Broadway and kind of blew up from there. And it's just, I personally, I haven't had that experience, but I love music therapy. And I think using it in that kind of space was so powerful. So that is one organization that I absolutely love, seeing everything that they come out. It's called the Angel Music Band. And they're a wonderful organization. And the power of music therapy is just amazing. They'll stage concerts. I think they're putting out a CD from all survivors. So it's a wonderful organization to work for.
Okay, that's amazing. So Adjani, I think Instagram kind of limits us to a half hour, right? Yeah. So before they go like this. Right. So, okay, you help brands. I love what you wrote. The heart of COVID-19 provided a sort of starting line as we all had to figure out how to operate and succeed in unfamiliar and frankly uncomfortable new set of circumstances. How can brands, if brands wanted to find you, you would help them with their website development, their SEO, their outreach. LinkedIn is something that I know people really want to touch. Like that's what you're going to help people with. Right.
So anything that will help their branding, it's different. It'll be different for everybody depending on what industry you're in. But yeah, any digital marketing, branding, even content for their social media, I'll go through, creative direct their content, just really make a plan for them and help them execute it. Whatever is needed for your specific, life and brand.
Oh, gosh, it's so much work, especially for the solopreneur who is really good at, there's 7 to 10 things, but there's 85 things to do. So, you're onto something that is so challenging for so many people, and you have that art. Okay, how can people find you?
So my website is Adjani Design, ADJANI design.com. And then Instagram is the same, Adjani Design. And this Instagram that I'm on, the Everyday Armor, this is my fashion Instagram. So anybody in the fashion industry, the fashion space can follow me here as well.
Okay, cool. So cool. So I'm just going to share that. So I'm Daniella Platt, and my favorite thing in the world is amazing people like Adjani. But you know, I've spent 20 years building brands corporately, you know, brands that fuel your life, from Visa, Hugo Boss, Mont Blanc, to let you stretch like Lycra.
Right.
So let you stretch like Lycra. Everybody kind of gets a giggle out of that. But I know that there's brands out there and you want to see yourself in Revolve and Bloomingdale's, Nordstroms. I work with brands one-on-one. I do coaching. But the truth is, you can grab my free guide to really like make a big impact. It's for sales as well as the business of fashion. You could either just text me at 859-359-6190, and I'm going to send you my free guide to open the doors so you can make a big impact with your sales and your business of fashion. And also, just because people were saying to me all the time, how do I get into the business of fashion? Or how do I open doors for sales? I decided, well, I'll just write a book on it. and the book, it's kind of funny, but I've been going through, every time I read the book, I always pick one more thing. I'm like, that was really good. But I really encourage everybody. Here's the reason I wrote the book, and the reason we're talking to Adjani, and the reason we're doing so much of this is because this is passion. And everything in the book, from, I call it the 10 Commandments to be a sales rock star, because it's, you know, how to open the doors, how to talk to buyers, how to show people what you're creating. And then on the fashion side, how to curate a collection, what to ask a showroom rep, how to plan for your next trade show, how to be a warrior, how everything. It's all because, what if you can move really quickly if you have the tools? What if, you know, you're in the castle, right? You want to get to the top. What if you can get to the top once you have the tools? And I sat down, I heard people asking me these questions, and I was just feeling like I just want to give it to as many people as possible, kind of like you were talking about with writing and helping people like get things out really quickly. I just want to give people the tools because I've been doing it for 20 years. I just want to give people the tools. So the book, there's workshops that go with it. It's all available on my website, and you can get them today so you can start to take your collection to the world. But again, get the free guide. Just text me for it, 859-359-6190. Let's get started there. I want everybody to really just activate, elevate. These are incredible, unique times to take your idea and your vision into the world. So this is so exciting.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Well, this is so fun. And so what's just a little anecdote. What caught attention was it feels like a long time ago, but, and this is just like behind the scenes, but I'll leave the Instagram running. Behind the scenes, Disney Plus was revealing that they were coming out with Hamilton. Yes. And I was like, I'm going to write this article, Hamilton focused. And I hear it as you're talking about how many references you make to theater. Right. And so you're like, anything Hamilton related, I'm not going to miss my shot. And then, and you're not going to, I have to take my shot. Yeah. So and that's kind of what inspired you. And then when I wrote the article, I started feeling that, I don't know, you kind of mentioned this too. When I wrote the article, I started feeling like it's not about taking your shot. How lucky are you to be alive right now? Right. Yeah. It's a world revolution. It's everything. You are redrawing you and me and every trade show out there. I mean, everybody is redrawing the roadmap to how we live. And right. I mean, welcome to our new house, our Instagram box.
Absolutely. Like, this is the absolute, like, to be able to take the time to appreciate what we have, and then right. step forward into whatever it's going to be. And then to have this feeling of universality that everybody is in this boat. I was just speaking with a stylist in Australia, and she was saying, yeah, we're still on lockdown, still have X, Y, and Z. What's your lockdown like? You know, to be able to talk to somebody across the world in the same position, mm-hmm. it's incredible. It really is. And being able to get the best out of, you know, a hard time is always always the best way to go, I think.
Well, that is good last words. Okay, Adjani, throw out your website one more time if anybody needs SEO, webs, content.
Yeah, adjanidesign.com.
Okay, and you'll see it because when I do my little write-up, I'll pop it in there.
Awesome.
I'm Daniella Platt, your concept to market strategist. Get my free guide so you can totally nail it with your sales, open the doors to success, take your idea from the kitchen table into the world and sell it. And of course, this is your book. It's not my book. It's your book. Looking Good, The 10 Commandments to be a Sales Rockstar and Fashion Startup Playbook. So you can activate your dreams. Awesome. Adjani, you're amazing.
Thank you. You are too. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.